Hey guys, welcome back to the next Deltarune video. I am sorry it has taken so long for this to come out, but yeah, I'm excited to show you guys this video. I spent a lot of time on it. Without further ado, let the video begin. So a quick little recap of last episode. We beat Tenna, we did Pacifist. You can't really do Roaring Knight Pacifist, so I tried to fight him but died. Yada yada, blah 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 blah. You get the gist. Chris and Susie were eating their pancakes peacefully, and then they were putting on their clothes for church. I guess church is a trap for eating pancakes, but I'd be happy. I love going to church. Although not everyone's the religious type, so I get it. I would also love to add that I love the expressions in chapter 3 and 4. Chapter 4 is a really good chapter. Really funny. I would love to play Chapter 5, I can't wait. When Chapter 5 and 6 come out, I will make videos on them too. They probably won't take like 2 to 3 months though, like this one. I will try more when they come out. Enough talk about the future of the game, let's talk more about the present. We are in the church and we gotta do some little task to try and get a code for later on, which you will see later on in the video, of course. In order to get the code, we have to make awkward small talk like we're a mom in a supermarket when we find our friend for the first time in 20 years. Very specific, I know. But yeah, basically just a bunch of awkward talk with Alphys and a bunch of other NPCs in the church, which I cut out for the viewer's sake. I don't want you guys watching me go 10 minutes going, "Yo guys, what's up? Can I get a code?" And they go like, But yeah, after that we talked to Noelle, and Noelle actually does have the code, which I guess makes sense since she's like one of the main kids of the game and one of the main characters. Why would like the priest or some random NPC like that alligator in the background have the code? I have no idea. So I just talked to Noelle. In case it wasn't already obvious, Noelle and Susie love each other, or Noelle loves Susie. It's kind of confusing. Susie doesn't really catch on. She just takes it as like friendly compliments. That's why the fandom makes a lot of like fan art of them being together. So they decided to go to Noelle's house for their little homework project, but you can see that Asgore and Toriel are having divorce issues, because Asgore's like, "Yo, I'm a big man, I can get back with Toriel," but yeah, that's just not how that works, big bro. So they went to Noelle's house to do the project, and a little more flirting happens here. Noelle tries to flirt, and Susie can't really tell that it's flirting. Before I actually went to Noelle's house, I gave away Tenna, which is something you can do. You can promise to Tenna that you will give him a home in the 3rd chapter. You just gotta look around the map. Go to the right of Noelle's house, go to the blue house. It's a little tilted, and you can give Tenna up right there. After doing all that, we actually went to Noelle's house this time to do the quote-unquote studying. We just want the code in reality, so yeah. So we snoop around in Noelle's room, and we found the code, which seems to be inside Des's guitar. I don't know, that would be her mom's guitar. Her mom doesn't seem like the calm instrumental type. And while we were snooping around in Noelle's room, we figured out that Chris doesn't like what the soul does sometimes. So Chris decides to throw us in the box because we are the soul. I think it's also clear that we're the soul here because we can choose who to scare, which I didn't know at the time of recording, but you can choose to scare Susie or Noelle in this part. As you see, I scared Noelle, so Noelle freaked out, but Susie, if you scare her, she just kind of takes it like a champ, so really cool how Toby Fox decided to put that in the game. Here's even more undeniable proof that we're the soul. As you can see, Chris is trying to beat us up with a hockey stick while we try and retrieve something. After Chris gets caught being an absolute idiot in the closet, Susie takes the guitar out and decides it'd be cool to play some tunes for Noelle, which may or may not have went a little something like this. After some horrendous guitar playing, Noelle's mom just so happens to come back home early. I would like to assume this is for plot, and just to make the game a little bit more interesting so we can learn more about Noelle, which I think is cool. Her mom seems really mean though, even if the guitar is a personal item that isn't meant to be played. Basically, after nearly 2 to 3 in real life minutes of them just going, "No, that's my guitar, you cannot have it, stay away from my daughter," Susie runs out the door, and yeah, that's that. But as Susie runs out the door, Noelle's mom comes up, puts a hand on your shoulder, and says, "You're welcome here anytime," which I don't know why. we don't really see a lot of Noelle's mom in the game. This is like the first or second time I think we see her in the whole game, and it just paints her as a very bad person, and I don't know why. After that, Asgore gives us some treats, and we see Susie get used as a lawnmower thing, almost. Weird, but I'm not gonna question it. And after all that, we meet up back with Ralsei in the Dark World. And I gotta say, I really like Ralsei's design. I like how they went from being some hooded, mysterious nobody to a main character. Very cool. Basically, to explain what's going on, they're talking about Noelle and their lives outside the Dark Realm. And Ralsei is just being very supportive, being like, yo, y'all can just chill here and relax for a little. Don't worry about school and your friends, yada yada. After that, we see Chris, Ralsei, and Susie reunited in their new rooms, and I must say these rooms look absolutely awesome. I love how Chris's room tries to like resemble their actual room, and Susie's room, I don't know if they have a room in the Light World, aka the real world, but it looks really cool. I like the worn design and all that. I think Ralsei would make a really cool butler. There has been some like fan art I've seen of them where they're a butler, and I think there's a part in chapter 2 where they wear a suit and tie and they look really good in that. I noticed a very reoccurring theme where each time we go to the Dark World there's supposed to be a lot of bad vibes going on, but Ralsei is like really supportive. So it's a mixture of like back and forth compliments where either Susie starts being like, hey Ralsei, it's okay, or Ralsei goes like, hey Susie, everything's alright. Ralsei will even tell you to chill, which I think is really cool. I must say I'm in love with the way Toby Fox makes these games. I never beat Undertale yet, but his games have so much personality compared to other games in this style. Also, did I just read that correctly? Ralsei just said they've never tried cake before. Who hasn't tried cake? Eat some cake, bruh. After Ralsei gave us our cool little tea party and tried cake for the first time, Susie said we should do some stuff for Ralsei. And I didn't do this because I forgot, but you can actually get some stuff for Ralsei's room in this chapter. You can get furniture. Just make sure not to accidentally trigger the wrong cutscenes. There's like tutorials online of how to do it. And once we enter Ralsei's room, it's honestly kind of depressing. They think they don't really deserve anything. That's why they made our rooms look so good. Their room looks so empty. Now I don't know if they feel like this because of the item they are in the Light World, because obviously those who have played Deltarune know that when an item passes into the Dark Realm, which is this imaginary world, that it comes to life like a toy or a house of cards, something like that. Besides the point, anyways. Ralsei asks us if they should have feelings just because they're a Darkner, and we obviously gotta be like, yeah, you deserve to have feelings. You may not exist in the Light World, but you exist in the Dark World. So you obviously deserve stuff and feelings, you stupid. After that, though, we go to the church, which is apparently where the Dark Realm is at now. It used to be at the school, but now it's at the church. This makes me wonder if the person who controls the fountains is in the real world or in the Dark Realm. Then again, I guess we won't know until the later chapters, but it's still a nice theory. Another theory I have is that the Dark Realm is a real place. It's just they think it's in their imagination because it's a place they tend to go after school. I have two more theories here. All jokes aside, I think that Papyrus, Newbert, or Birdley could be the Roaring Knight. Or it could even be Noelle, because in the past 2 chapters we haven't seen really any of the other main characters besides Chris, Ralsei, and Susie. This might contradict what I just said, but I find it hard looking back on the footage that Noelle could be the Roaring Knight. Because looking back, Noelle is a pacifist, and I don't even think if someone threatened to kill them that they would hurt someone else. So that really just brings it down to Birdley, Newbert, Papyrus, and maybe Des, but I don't think it's Des. I've thought it could be Asgore before, but I don't know. It can't be Toriel, because Toriel is one of the people being held captive by the Roaring Knight. Unless the Roaring Knight can be in multiple places at once, which I don't think it can. Off topic for the talk of the Roaring Knight, but I just noticed Gerson is in Undertale and in Deltarune. If you search up Undertale Turtle, you'll see what I'm talking about. And another detail I noticed, I don't know if it's just me or if other people feel this way, but I like how this new level has the design of like the old Zelda games. Like how the pillars look all like pixely but really detailed at the same time. Now you could argue that Chapter 3 is more so related to that, because Chapter 3 literally has a Zelda themed level entirely built around looking like The Legend of Zelda and having similar mechanics to the game, along with its own little spin-off mechanics and gimmicks. Back to the main point though, a quick little recap in case you've been just paying attention to my voice. We went to the church, we went to Noelle's house, got a code, which we found in their sister's guitar from Noelle's room. Went back to the church. That's how we got sucked into the Dark Realm. And we met this old turtle called Gerson, who's been helping us figure out how to do fights better. And he even helps you pacify enemies sometimes in fights, which I don't know if that's a pacifist only route thing, or if that's just how Toby Fox made it. Gerson does actually play a really interesting role in the story. If you don't want to hear what I have to say about it, I'd recommend skipping this part. But basically, he helps Susie learn how to use the healing magic better by pretending to bend down and pick something off the floor, which helps Susie aim a heal blast into the enemy's mouth. I'm not going to say what the enemy is, just in case you're like, never played the game before and just watching the video. All of that aside though, I am really happy with Toby Fox's choices for this chapter. Chapter 3, way funnier. Chapter 4, way more serious. I feel like Chapter 4 has the perfect blend of funny though. Like, it doesn't have a lot of funny, but it is good when it's funny. As opposed to Chapter 3 where it's a little too funny. I'm not saying too funny makes a bad chapter, whether that be for a game or just a normal story in general. And on the topic of seriousness, I like how serious most of the characters are. Example, Ralsei tries to seem all cheery, joyful, everything's sunshines and rainbows. But deep down when you talk to them, they're a very serious character. Along with Susie, who has this like, almost like bully personality. They're not as caring as Ralsei, I'd say, but they can be a very, very deep character if you actually like took the time and try and understand all the dialogue, which is shown perfectly here as you get to see Susie's like inner, I wouldn't say, I guess it's not necessarily a bully personality, but they are known to bully your character in school and threaten your character. But I assume that changes after they became friends. On to another topic though, a topic we haven't really discussed much in this video. I would like to discuss the enemies and how creative and thought out they were. As shown in this footage right here, you have to guess the correct word in order to pacify these enemies. And they have a lot of tornado attacks that look like sprites that are used from Birdley's boss fight, but the attacks are way different, along with some bubble attacks as well. I don't remember if I edited in this video or not, but there's another enemy called Balthazard, Balthizard, and it has some very unique attacks. One where it like goes out of the fighting arena where your little heart is, and it rains down stuff on you, or it makes you like run around in the middle trying not to get hit. It's hard to explain it. And oh boy, on to one of my favorite bosses in the entire game, literally and sarcastically. Now you're probably thinking, hey Cliff, how can a boss be your favorite, literally and sarcastically? For one, I mean look, and just look at how intricate and well designed this boss is. It's shaped like an arena, like an actual arena instead of the fighting field. It's not just a little square like most other fights or boss fights. It has really cool unique dialogue, which some of the fights in Deltarune and Undertale do have. But I love how it feels more like a puzzle than a fight. The whole gimmick of this fight: start at a place, navigate place, get key, navigate back to start without taking damage. I feel like some of the comments are gonna say stuff along the lines of, yo, this guy's a paid actor, there's no way he's saying all this stuff. If you're someone in the comments who has played this game as well, and you actually like the game, you would understand just as much where I'm coming from as like the average Deltarune / Undertale enjoyer. And regardless if I'm getting paid or not out of this video, I made this video because I do genuinely enjoy this game. And I have had very good experiences with the community of this game. There's very rarely like very controversial people in the community. I'm not gonna say what kind of things I'm talking about because YouTube will be like, oh, bad, but you get the point. And since we are on the topic of YouTube, you don't have to, but I would appreciate if you did go down, like, subscribe. You don't even have to like or comment, just a subscription would be very greatly appreciated, as it helps me show that my work and my time is well spent. And it also shows that I have people in the audience that actually enjoy the content. I know right now I don't have a lot of subscribers upon posting this video, and that's fine, but I still appreciate every single one of you, subscribed or not, to be honest. And some people might think I'm just saying that because lights, camera, action, YouTuber stuff, but no, I really do mean it. I've had a lot of nice comments of people, you know who you are. But back to the main video topic, I would like to talk about how cool and good the Jackenstein boss fight was. It was a really hard and annoying boss fight, don't get me wrong, but it also had a lot of cool perks and things that really made it stand out from a lot of just normal enemies from this chapter. It was the first and only enemy boss that I fell to in combat. I didn't fall to the Titan enemy at the end, which, yeah, that enemy's pretty bad, but Jackenstein was far worse in my opinion. The final enemy of this chapter is not too complex, like the attacks are simple, but they do like 1,000,000 damage compared to Jackenstein. I do not want to spoil too much for the final boss fight of this chapter, since this is one of those kind of videos where I go like mad into detail, but also while not trying to give you guys too much spoilers until we at least get to that part. Also, yes, this is that part I was talking about earlier. That part where Gerson accidentally, quote unquote, accidentally teaches Susie how to use the heal blast. This just shows that Gerson is a really cool character. Toby Fox could have made his game something like this. And even if Deltarune did end that way, or had a point in time where the story was beginning to be like that, I think it'd be hilarious. Don't get me wrong, there's some low effort moments in Deltarune that make the game more humorous, but could you imagine an ending where it's just like T-posing Susie flying into an enemy? Here's something I'd love to see in a future chapter. Jackenstein comes back, he's T-posing, he nosedives down like Superman, and blows up an enemy or a building, and that's how that chapter ends. Just a cliffhanger that Toby Fox, if you do watch this, and if you think that's a funny idea or a good idea, please add it, Toby Fox. Back to the main topic. Very well thought out cutscene, and an even more well thought out boss fight. I cannot exaggerate enough how much this boss fight made me want to rip my own eyeballs out. But despite all that, when chapter 5 and 6 come out, I will definitely make videos on them, because I just like this game series and Toby Fox that much. He might be one of the best game developers to ever live. Here in a sec, we're about to see what Jackenstein looks like. I hope you guys are ready for the scariest thing you've ever seen. Boo, it's a job application. Nah, I'm just kidding, of course. Some of us should seek employment though, including myself. I'm gonna do a quick recap since this video would be way too long without all these cuts. Long story short, we finally met the Titan guy, but he isn't really happy, so we have to use the climbing tools that Jackenstein gave us. Spoiler alert, this is a pretty long boss fight. I don't know if that Jackenstein boss fight just made me gain like 1,000,000 IQ or something, but I didn't die at all during this fight. so that was pretty nice, not having to fight this guy multiple times. Besides how hard this boss was, even though I might not have died, it was probably one of the cooler bosses throughout Chapter 3 and 4. Which I guess you kind of have to expect that when you're going into a chapter and you're about to face the final boss. Overall though, Toby Fox did a great job as usual. The attacks were really unique. I even liked some of the abilities that your characters got in certain fights. Like the ability to call Gerson in, the ability to summon in Ralsei to do a max heal for the final boss. All really cool features. My personal favorite boss had to be Jackenstein. Tenna had overall, best overall, but Jackenstein just had the best mechanics and gameplay in my opinion. And the Titan boss fight was kinda easy. It was like the only boss fight I didn't die on. My only complaint about the Titan boss fight is how stupidly long it was. All of that aside though, have fun watching the next cutscene. After some sad, depressing dialogue, which I will be cutting out, you go back home, and, yep, that's Sans and Toriel. Now, you can't tell my exact reaction, obviously, because this is me voicing over for the video, but I just want you to picture someone with their jaw drop to the floor. I'm pretty sure I opened my jaw so much that it felt dislocated. And to be honest, this music is kind of a bop. This dance is also kind of a bop, too. I have no words. This scene is just something else, especially for Undertale. And this scene is just the perfect cherry on top, especially for the kind of chapter we just had. But yeah, you can clearly tell that Toriel is drunk in this scene, and Sans seems to be respecting that, just dancing with her, giving her a good time. And in this scene, we can clearly tell that both Chris and Susie are uncomfortable. I know Chris doesn't talk at all. They barely even make noises during the game at all, unless it's a pain noise. But yeah, average teenage behavior, whether it comes from drunk parental figure or just being hormonal. Who knows? To sum the scene up that I just sped up, Toriel just basically falls around, rolls over, being drunk. In the next scene, we see Chris laying down. They can hardly sleep, they're moving a lot because all the racket that their mom and Sans are making downstairs. Then we see them walk over to the window after rolling around a little. Then we get a glimpse of Susie outside leaving. I assume they feel bad for Chris, but if you pay close attention to the dialogue, it seems like they're worried about everyone. I don't necessarily know what the prophecy says, but I'm assuming it says something along the lines of everyone like Chris, Ralsei, Birdley, maybe even Noelle die, or maybe just the main three. I don't really know. Kinda have to assume. Just a heads up for if you skipped this far, or watched till this point. The video's almost over. This is basically the end of this chapter. This little cutscene right here. So I'm gonna do an outro after this plays. Thanks to everybody who watched, everyone who commented, everyone who even clicked on the video. Thanks to everyone who decided to give me a second of their time, because I spend a lot of time making these videos. I'm going to keep the outro short and simple so I don't waste a lot of your time. I just want to say God bless you. Thanks again for watching. I hope everyone watching, and even those who aren't watching, have an amazing day. And you don't have to. I don't want to seem like one of those annoying YouTubers, or those YouTubers who are like, hey man, I need subscribers. Which I don't need subscribers. If YouTube doesn't pay off, I could always just get a job or something. But I'd love to be able to keep doing this, because I love doing this. And I appreciate all my fans, I really do. I hope God watches over every one of you. Goodbye. Thanks for watching. You guys mean the world to me.